So let's now see the structure of DNA, as we have already discussed about how the DNA, how it was proved by scientists that DNA is the genetic material. Next is structure of DNA. Before knowing about the detailed structure of DNA, you should first know about nucleic acids. Why we should know about nucleic acids? Because you know that DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Actually it is a nucleic acid, and nucleic acid is made up of what are the components which are there in the nucleic acid. Then we will take up the structure of DNA. So if you will see the nucleic acids, they are made up of three components, three molecules. One is pentose sugar, one is nitrogenous bases, and the third one is phosphoric acid. So pentose sugar, as the name is saying, pentose means it has 5 carbon in it. So generally in the previous class you have studied about biomolecules chapter in your chemistry part also. There also you have studied about some of these biomolecules. Actually it is what a polymer. Okay, so it is a polymer of these three molecules, and pentose is a 5 carbon sugar which has a structure like this. It is a ring like structure, and there can be two types of pentose sugar present depending upon the type of nucleic acid. As you know, there are two types of nucleic acids in the form of genetic material, DNA and as well as RNA. RNA also we will study in detail the structure, the different types later, but here we are talking about DNA only. Okay, so depending upon the type of nucleic acid, either it is RNA or DNA, there can be two types of sugar: pentose sugar, ribose sugar, or deoxyribose sugar. Later we will take up in detail the structure of each component. Next is the nitrogenous bases. Nitrogenous bases can be either purines or pyrimidines. These are what they are. They have different ring-like structures. We will discuss in detail. And third one is the phosphoric acid. So let's start with the first part, that is pentose sugar, its structure in detail. So let's first see the structure of pentose sugar. So as pentose, the name is saying it has 5 carbon, and this kind of ring-like structure is there. So here I have shown both ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. So at this position they have an oxygen, this carbon, 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 carbon and carbon. So there are 5 carbons. I have given number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You know that the valency of carbon is 4. So we have to complete the valency to find out what other functional groups or other atoms attached with the carbon. So this is first carbon, 2, it is making with bond with O and C, and at one point it has OH as functional group, and at the other one, that is H. Second carbon H, OH, third carbon H, OH, fourth carbon H, and fifth carbon CH2OH. means I have not shown separately. तो यहाँ पे C के पास OH है और यहाँ से ये फोर्थ कार्बन के साथ अटैच्ड है. So this is the structure of ribose sugar. Now in case of deoxyribose sugar, the same structure is there, only one small difference, that is at carbon number 2 you can find here it has one H and one OH, but in case of deoxyribose sugar there are both H atoms attached with the carbon. Okay, it means that is why it is called deoxy. Deoxy means one oxygen less. So at carbon number 2 both atoms which are present are H and H. One oxygen is less in it, that is why it is called deoxyribose sugar. This is the only little difference between ribose and deoxyribose sugar. Now let's see the structure of nitrogenous bases. So now let's see the structure of nitrogenous bases. This you have already done in class 11 also in the biomolecules chapter, but again I am repeating it so that you will remind it. Okay, so there are two types of nitrogenous bases that can be present in the nucleic acids, either RNA or DNA. One is the purine and second one is the pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. So purines are double ringed structure with 9 members, and pyrimidines are single ringed structure with 6 members. Here I have written 9 members, not carbon, because it includes carbon as well as nitrogen. When I will show you the structure, then you will find that carbon and nitrogen included in these 9 members, and they have nitrogen at their first, third, 7th and 9th position, and in this case the nitrogen is present at first and third position, other are carbons. So purines are of two types, guanine and adenine. They are represented by their first capital letter, guanine with capital G, adenine with capital A. And pyrimidines are three types, cytosine, thiamine and uracil. Cytosine with capital C, thiamine with capital T and uracil with capital U. Now let's see the structure of each. So here I have shown the detailed structure. This is guanine. So this is a double ringed structure. It has been started from this first nitrogen. As I told you, nitrogen is present at first, third, 7th and 9th position in the ring. So nitrogen at first position, then carbon at second, then third nitrogen, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, sixth carbon. Again then 7 nitrogens, 8th carbon and 9th nitrogen. So the bonds you have to remember, where are the double bonds, and to fulfill the vacancy, to fulfill this vacancy or bond, you can write a hydrogen atom along with it. Like you know, nitrogen forms 3 bonds and carbon forms 4 bonds. Okay, so here you can see here 2 bonds this and one is the hydrogen. Like this you can write the structure. So in the center I have written capital G, which represents guanine. Okay, second is adenine. It is also a purine, so it is a double ringed structure. The difference you can compare between the two. This is one, so here I have to write H to complete its valency. So nitrogen at first position, second carbon, third nitrogen again, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, sixth carbon, seventh nitrogen again, eighth carbon, nitrogen again, ninth position. So this is the structure of adenine. A very little difference is there in between the two structures. Why is they are like that? They have this kind of structure. I have shown the detailed structure because when we will study the bonding, how these nitrogenous bases, they attached itself, they bond with the other nitrogenous bases to form the 2 strands of the DNA, then you will find it. So 3 pyrimidines, cytosine, they have nitrogen at first and third position. Nitrogen at first, then carbon, then again nitrogen at third position, first position and third position, again carbon, then carbon, then carbon. In the center I have written C, which means cytosine. Okay, then this is thiamine, same structure, first at third position they have nitrogen, otherwise you can see the structure. And this is uracil, first and third position nitrogen. You can compare the 3 structures. A very little difference is there in the 3 structures. Okay, and one more thing, important point is that in DNA cytosine and thiamine are present because 2 each will be present. 2 purines and 2 pyrimidines. 4 nitrogenous bases are there in nucleic acid, either it is DNA or RNA. In DNA में कौन कौन से होते हैं? प्यूरिन्स होते हैं, गुआनिन और एडेनिन, और pyrimidines होते हैं साइटोसिन और थायमिन. और RNA में कौन से होते हैं? प्यूरिन्स तो सेम ही रहेंगे, गुआनिन एंड एडेनिन, and pyrimidines will include thiamine and cytosine and uracil. So thiamine will not be there in case of RNAs. 2 are there in each nucleic acid. So these are the nitrogenous bases. Now let's see the structure of phosphoric acid, that is the third component of nucleic acid. So the third component of nucleic acid is phosphoric acid, and phosphorus, you know that it has 5 valency, it forms 5 bonds. So here you can see one with oxygen, OH and OH group, and this is the phosphoric acid, but actually it is not present in this form in DNA. It is present in the form of phosphate group, because this oxygen will form the bond with the pentose sugar. When we will study the structure in detail, then you will find it. So this is the basic structure of nucleic acids, means 3 components are there in it. Each component I have told you which component is there. Now we will study the structure of DNA and its types. So let's see the structure of DNA after discussing about the basic structure of nucleic acids. So DNA is a helically twisted double chain polydeoxyribonucleotide. It is actually a macromolecule and it is a helically twisted. Helically twisted means it is in the form of a twisted structure and a helix is formed. Actually this helically twisted structure, the double-stranded helical twisted structure was given by Watson and Crick. So we will discuss the Watson and Crick model of DNA. Before that, a little information about DNA, that it is the genetic material of all the organisms. So all organisms except riboviruses, because viruses can have RNA as genetic material also. Ribovirus कौन से वायरस होते हैं जिनके अंदर RNA genetic material होता है? Except ribovirus, all other organisms have DNA as their genetic material. When we will see the double-stranded helical structure of DNA, then you will find that there are nucleotides present in it, which are also called as base pairs. Why they are called base pairs? क्योंकि जो DNA की 2 strands होती हैं उसके ऊपर जो nitrogenous bases होते हैं वो आपस में इस तरह से pairing करते हैं. So they are called base pairs. And size of the DNA will depend upon the number of base pairs present in it. तो जितनी ज़्यादा base pairs होंगे उतना ही बड़ा size का DNA होगा. Okay? What are base pairs, nucleotides, nucleosides? When I will draw the structure, then you will find it. If we talk about viruses, the DNA of viruses, as I told you, all viruses do not have RNA as their genetic material. कुछ viruses ऐसे होते हैं जिनमें DNA genetic material है और कुछ virus के अंदर RNA genetic material होता है. तो जो viruses होते हैं जिनमें DNA genetic material है, that have small sized DNA. For example, I have given 2 examples here. 5x174 bacteriophage, it is a name of a virus that infects bacteria, जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था Hershey and Chase experiment में. So Y×174 bacteriophage is a virus which have a DNA with 5386 nucleotides or base pairs. Now nucleotides and base pairs, you are not, I think you are not getting my point. What is nucleotide, what is base pair, what I am talking about. When we will draw the structure, then you will find it. Second is the lambda bacteriophage. It is also a virus with small size DNA which infects bacteria with 48502 nucleotides. So these are very small in number. This is a small sized DNA. So you can imagine they are thousands, they are in thousands, but still it is a small number. So you can imagine the big sized DNA, large sized DNA has lakhs of billions of nucleotides in it. So let's study the Watson and Crick model of double-stranded helical structure of DNA. So let's see the Watson and Crick model of DNA. So here I have shown the double-stranded, double helical structure of DNA. These are the 2 strands of DNA which are called polynucleotide chains. इन दोनों को क्या बोलते हैं? Polynucleotide chains. And they are present in the helical manner and they overcross each other. These 2 are attached with each other, bonded with each other due to the presence of these dark color hydrogen bonds which are there between the nitrogenous bases of the 2 polynucleotide chains. So let me show you how this single polynucleotide chain is being formed. As I told you, nucleic acid has 3 components: phosphoric acid, pentose sugar and nitrogenous base. So one polynucleotide chain will have all the 3 components. तो जो मैंने यहाँ पे आपको structure show किया है, so this portion is showing one polynucleotide chain. This is shown in this form. It has this nitrogenous base, one sugar and one phosphate group. Okay, so this complete structure is called nucleotide. This structure is called nucleotide. And without phosphate group, if we will exclude the phosphate group, then nitrogenous base and sugar, they will together called as nucleoside. Okay, first you have to remember what is nucleotide. Three components: nitrogenous base, sugar and phosphate. They are arranged in this manner. Nitrogenous base here, which is attached with the sugar, and sugar is further attached with the phosphate group. So this one structure, one component is called nucleotide. This is one nucleotide, this is second nucleotide, this is third nucleotide. So all these nucleotides are attached with each other and they will form a single polynucleotide chain. That is why it is called polynucleotide chain. Similarly, this side, this will form one nucleotide and these nucleotides will join with each other to form polynucleotide chain. So these two polynucleotide chains will be formed, and the nitrogenous bases of two polynucleotide chains will face each other, and there is a bonding between the nitrogenous bases of the polynucleotide chains. They bond with each other with hydrogen bonds, which help the polynucleotide chains to remain attached together. Okay, so here you can see this is one polynucleotide chain, this is second polynucleotide chain, and they are attached with each other with the hydrogen bonds, क्योंकि इनके जो nitrogenous bases हैं वो इस side पे present है, और यहाँ पे इसका होगा, यहाँ पे इसका होगा, यहाँ पे इसका होगा. And these nitrogenous bases, they have a specific pairing. It is not like कि कोई भी किसी के साथ भी pair up कर जाएगा. Why is that so? Always there should be one purine at one side and pyrimidine at other side. It is always there, because if you will see the size of purine and pyrimidine, purine और pyrimidine जब pair up करते हैं तो उनका जो size होता है, there will be 3 rings, 2 from purine, 1 from pyrimidine. तो उनका जो साइज़ है वो DNA के डिस्टेंस के बिल्कुल इक्वल है, दैट इज इक्वल्स टू 20 आंगस्ट्रॉन्ग. दिस इज द न्यू यूनिट विच इज कॉल्ड आंगस्ट्रॉन्ग, विच इज इक्वल्स टू 10⁻⁻10 मीटर. ओके, तो इसका साइज़ इतना ज़्यादा छोटा होता है, तो इसी के लिए हम कौन सा यूनिट यूज़ करते हैं, आंगस्ट्रॉन्ग. ओके, सो इट इज़ इक्वल्स टू 20 आंगस्ट्रॉन्ग इन विच 1 purine and 1 pyrimidine will fit exactly. So at one side if there is a purine, other side should be pyrimidine, purine pyrimidine, and this bonding will be like this. C will pair up with the G and A will pair up with T, because there are total 4 purines and pyrimidines, A, T, G, C. So C will always pair up with G and A will always pair up with T. Why is that so? क्योंकि जब हम इनका स्ट्रक्चर हमने देखा था उसके अंदर क्या होता है, हाइड्रोजन के जो एटम्स है वो एक दूसरे के क्लोज इस तरह से आते हैं कि उनके बीच में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड हो जाता है. ठीक है, and C and G are always pair up with the 3 hydrogen bonds. Here I have shown 3 bonds. C and G are always pair up with 3 hydrogen bonds. A and T will pair up with 2 hydrogen bonds. Is it clear? 1 purine should be there, 1 pyrimidine, and C always pair up with G, G with C, A with T, T with A, and there is a fixed number of hydrogen bonds in between these two. Okay. Now this nitrogenous base is attached with the sugar. This nitrogenous base is bonded with the sugar with a bond which is called glycosidic bond. So the bond between nitrogenous base and the sugar is called glycosidic bond. And the third bond which will connect one nucleotide with the other nucleotide is called phosphodiester bond. This bond is called phosphodiester bond. Okay, so these 3 bonds are there which will help to join one nucleotide with the other nucleotide as well as with the nucleotide of the adjacent polynucleotide chain. So is it clear? These are the 2 polynucleotide chains, and nitrogenous bases are always towards the inner side, and sugar and phosphate will form the backbone of this chain. They are present in the center. Nitrogenous bases center में होते हैं और sugar और phosphate इसका backbone बनाते हैं, और इन nitrogenous bases को हम क्या बोलते हैं, base pairs. Clear? Why it is called base pairs? Because they are pair up with each other and they are nitrogenous bases, so they are called base pairs. That is why I was using the term nucleotides or base pair for determining the size of the DNA. तो किसी भी अगर हमें डीएनए के साइज़ को कैलकुलेट करना है, हाउ वी विल फाइंड द नंबर ऑफ बेस पेयर्स प्रेजेंट इन इट और द नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स। एक ही बात है, जितने न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स होंगे उतने ही बेस पेयर होंगे एक पॉलीन्यूक्लियोटाइड चेन में, ठीक है, और उससे हमें डीएनए की लेंथ पता चल जाएगी, ठीक है। सो दिस वाज द वॉटसन एंड क्रिक मॉडल. ही शोड द डबल हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर. The bond is there which is called hydrogen bond. Backbone is formed by sugar phosphate group. Distance between two polynucleotide chain is 20 angstrom and this helix is in the form of a groove. तो यहाँ पे ये grooves form कर रहा है. तो here you can see this is the minor groove and this is the major groove. इस तरह से जो है उनकी बॉन्डिंग इस तरह से होगी कि एक साइड पे ग्रूव माइनर फॉर्म होगा, एक साइड पे मेजर ग्रूव फॉर्म होगा. And one complete spiral has a length of 34 angstrom, that is a fixed number. This complete spiral from this to this, एक spiral complete करने में कितना length है उसका 34 angstrom and distance between two base pair is 3.4 angstrom. क्योंकि एक complete spiral में कितने base pair होते हैं 10. This is always fixed. एक complete spiral में how many base pairs are there 10 and total distance is 34 angstrom. So distance between two nucleotide or base pair is 3.4 angstrom. ठीक है. So this is the Watson and Crick model of DNA. It is very very important. The question comes from this. So this is all about the structure of DNA. There are some salient features which is related with the structure of DNA that we will discuss.
Here's the timeline of the history of genetics. Beginning with the work of Gregor Mendel, we have reached this point. The experiment which proved that it's DNA which is the genetic material. Clearly, the next step would be to understand the structure of DNA. So how is this biomolecule structured? What are its constituent molecules? Let's find that out in this video. The structure of the DNA molecule was discovered in the early years of 1950s. Note that the structure was discovered, not the molecule. The discovery of DNA molecules predates to the 18th century. But DNA was ignored for a long time and it was proteins that grabbed a lot of attention. However, post-Griffith's transformation experiment, the other two notable works in the timeline helped shift the focus towards DNA. So around the early years of 1950s, an English chemist named Rosalind Franklin started working on DNA molecules. She isolated the DNA crystals and shone X-rays on them. As a result, she obtained fine images of the structure of the DNA molecules. According to sources, the best one looked somewhat like this. Around the same time, Francis Crick and James Watson, two scientists in the field of genetics, worked on the structure of DNA and reached a similar conclusion like Franklin did. However, according to sources, they were fortunate to receive better and earlier recognition compared to Franklin. They even shared a Nobel Prize with Maurice Wilkins for their discovery of the double helical structure of DNA. So let's understand how exactly this double helical structure looks. We may have come across the structure of DNA somewhere. Is this how it really looks? Yes. According to Franklin, Watson, and Crick, the DNA is made up of three major components. One is a pentose sugar molecule called deoxyribose. How is this obtained? It's obtained by removing one oxygen atom from a ribose molecule. Thus the name deoxyribonucleic acid. The second component is phosphate group. This helps bind the two deoxyribose molecules together. The third and the fifth carbon atoms of the adjacent deoxyribose molecules are bound by the phosphate groups. Lastly, the nitrogenous base forms the core of the double helix. These are four different molecules that bind in pairs. Two of them are called purines and the other two are called pyrimidines. Adenine and guanine are the two purines which bond with the pyrimidines, thymine and cytosine. Can any purine bind with any pyrimidine? No. It's a thumb rule that adenine always binds with thymine, while guanine binds with cytosine only. These molecules are bound to each other with the help of hydrogen bonds. Adenine binds with thymine with the help of 2 hydrogen bonds. Guanine and cytosine, however, bind with 3 hydrogen bonds. Did you know that one unit consisting of deoxyribose molecule, one nitrogenous base, and a phosphate group is called a nucleotide? And what if the phosphate group is removed from this nucleotide unit? It's called a nucleoside then. Nora wants to know if there's any way of measuring a DNA molecule. What about its dimensions? Watch the next part to know more. The dimensions of DNA are very simple and easy to remember. The diameter of the double helix is around 2 nanometers. The double helical strand has one major and one minor groove that makes up one turn. The length of one turn is around 3.4 nanometers. And there are around 10 base pairs in one turn. Now, can you help me with the distance between the 2 adjacent base pairs? It's simple. The distance is 0.34 nanometers. It's simply 3.4 divided by 10. This is how the molecules are arranged. So in this double helix, this portion is the backbone, which is made up of the deoxyribose molecules and the phosphate groups. Whereas this portion that forms the core is made up of the nitrogenous bases. Now, can you guess the chemical nature of DNA? Since it contains nitrogenous bases, you would say that DNA is basic in nature, right? But that's not true. DNA is in fact acidic in nature. The presence of phosphate groups makes the molecule